The government feeling more pressure now as they look to retain EU safety marks in the latest Brexit climb down. I'm going to read this more from The Guardian, guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that the UK are to retain EU safety marks in the latest Brexit climb down. The government bows to pressure from industry over costs of switching over to the British marking. The UK will retain the EU product safety mark indefinitely in the latest climb down from the proposed post-Brexit trade changes after the government bowed to pressure from industries and manufacturers. The CE, the Conformité Européenne mark, is used by the blog to certify that a wide range of items from electrical goods and construction materials to medical devices and toys meet safety standards. The safety marking has been expected to be replaced by the UKCA, the UK Conformity Assessed marks for goods sold in Great Britain from the end of 2024, but after several extensions to the deadline for a changeover, the businesses had called on the government to extend the use of the CE mark, saying that forcing them to meet new EU rules which would initially duplicate EU product standards would add significant costs at a time when many have been trying to get over the disruption caused by the pandemic and stubbornly high inflation. This is just like, it was stupid in the first place to say that they're going to set their own standards sort of thing. The EU sets a very high standard mark, and it just felt like when this was announced, like, okay, you're going to pile on more paperwork than necessary on businesses, and it's just like, nah, man, you know, the businesses were just saying, no, we can't do this, like, it's too much for us. And once again, the government has done a U-turn, another U-turn, another backtrack, and they've had to on this one. They had to. It was just not going to work in the first place, guys. Businesses have called on the government to extend the use of the CE mark, saying that forcing them to meet new UK. Yeah, I read that bit already. Sorry. The UKCA mark would not have been recognised in the EU, so it would have been required only for goods to be sold in Great Britain. If it's not going to be recognised in the EU, then what was the point of it? Who's going to recognise our UKCA mark apart from Great Britain? It felt just such like a fantasy, doesn't it? Stephen Filson, chief executive of Make UK, the trade body representing manufacturer, said it had been lobbying the government to retain the CE mark. He called the indefinite delay a pragmatic and common sense decision that manufacturers will very much welcome and support. Filson added, this announcement will help safeguard the competitiveness of manufacturers and aid the UK as a destination for investment. It should bring more confidence about doing business in the UK and recognises the need to work with the reality of doing business. Smaller businesses have been particularly concerned about the costs and adapting to the new UKCA requirements. Yes, small businesses that are struggling already. This is one less problem that they need to deal with, so it's good in that terms. Tina McKenzie, policy chair of the Federation of Small Businesses, said the continued reconciliation of the CE mark products would allow time for small firms to adjust to the UKCA marking system and focus on growing their business both at home and overseas. The Department for Business and Trade said it had made the decision after discussions with industry described it as a key ask from businesses that would ease burden and boost growth for the UK economy. NISA said the move would give businesses certainty and would prevent a cliff edge in December next year when the UKCA mark was due to be introduced. Companies would also be able to choose whether to use either the UKCA or CE mark when selling their products in Great Britain. Again, you don't need the UKCA mark if the CE mark is a good enough standard, and it is a very high standard as it is. Why change it? They had previously argued that the UKCA mark would allow the UK to control its goods regulations while maintaining high safety standards. Yeah, but would they be at high safety as same or if not higher than CE? That's a question. The Business Minister Kevin Hollerack said by extending CE marking use across the UK, firms can focus their time and money on creating jobs and growing the economy. The retention of the CE mark is the latest in a long line of announcements and postponements regarding post-Brexit rules. members of the food industry are awaiting information from government about the introduction of post-Brexit import controls. The final version of the UK's new border strategy, known as the Target Operating Model (TOM), is expected to be released shortly after the government's consultation with industries on its planned close in late May. The introduction of goods arriving from overseas has been delayed several times over the past few years, and the government has changed its plans since they first envisaged. I just think on this whole UKCA mark was just more of a hassle than it needed to be, guys. We didn't need it. It was just going to be more problematic when it was first introduced. Why did we need to do it? It just a waste of time, waste of money, and gave unease and unnerviness to businesses, both big and small. Would have been more red tape, more paperwork for them. So I welcome this decision, but at the same time, it was one that was inevitable, really. And I think the CE mark is more than capable. Businesses will be a lot more confident, and they can focus a little bit more. But still, we still have problems with Brexit, obviously, with the red tape that needs to be addressed. And the sooner we have a new government in place, and a Labour government, hopefully, that can assess and deal with the situations, the better. But what do you guys make of the latest Brexit climb down from the UK government on its decision to keep the CE mark? Are you guys surprised by this decision? Are you not surprised? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, share and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you all very, very soon.